Everybody smiles in the same language. A smile, let your light come shining through.
Welcome to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. I'm Sandra M., coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the land of enchantment. I interview people from all parts of the world about what happiness means to them. What are they in love with? In each episode, we'll give you a key to happiness to include in your life. And of course, we'll play a happy tune from my live Celebrate Happiness Roadshow.
A smile doesn't cost you anything. But there's so much good.
Thank you for tuning into Season 3 of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And don't forget to catch up on any episodes from Seasons 1 and 2 that you might have missed. Today we're talking with Bobbi Heller, who was born and raised in Sydney, Australia, and came to the United States to study at the California Institute of the Arts, where she earned her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music. She next worked in the entertainment industry and then founded her own film distribution company. Bobbi and her husband moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico in 2000, and with her love for cats, she founded Felines Friends New Mexico in 2002. Welcome, Bobbi, to the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. You know, I am so excited to talk with you today about happiness and how does it manifest in your life?
Wow. So thank you for having me on the podcast, and that's a multifaceted question because there's many things that make me happy. One, obviously, we had previously talked about travel with my husband. We love to explore places and return to places that we had previously explored. And then I'm a singer, I'm a musician, so that also makes me very happy. It's a good escape from the day-to-day tasks that have to be done. So I'm with the Zia Singers here in Santa Fe, and we do multiple performances per year. And then I guess the other thing that makes me really happy is cats. I've been in rescue for 41 years, and cats still continue to make me very happy.
Well, I have to ask why. I mean, you know, some people prefer dogs and some people prefer cats, and some people have cats and dogs, right?
Right, exactly. I don't know. People talk about their spirit animal, and I think that cats definitely are my spirit animal. I was born into a home that had a cat. And basically, we never were without one. I mean, growing up, my sister got married, the cat went with her, and then we ultimately got other cats. And I even did rescue as a kid with my parents because they had a factory, and these feral kittens kept showing up every year, and the only person that could fit between the buildings to retrieve them was me. So I guess it's in my blood. From almost the day I was born.
Interesting. So you obviously have a little bit of an accent, and I know that you're from Sydney, Australia. So yes. So tell me a little bit about, well, the animals and so forth in Sydney, and then why, well, you came here for your music to get your BFA, right?
Right, correct. From California Institute of the Arts, yes.
Right. So it's very interesting that you feel that the cats are a spirit animal. And is it only domesticated small cats, or would it be larger cats? I know you don't have them in Australia, right?
No, other than at zoos and preserves, no. But the feline species in general, I think, is my spirit animal. And I certainly was fascinated by all of them when I went to South Africa, and I know you've been several times, but definitely I was fascinated by the large ones. And then we went to a preserve, and that's where I learned about the small African wildcat that really looks like an overgrown tabby. And, you know, you look at it and you go, oh, wow, that looks just like a very big house cat, you know, sort of a fat house cat. But they had the jaw power of a regular wildcat. And there was quite a fascinating history, because at a glance you'd say, oh, wow, that is, you know, just a domesticated cat. But no, it's not. So, yeah, there was definitely a connection. I was fascinated by them. I've got great photos of me and my husband with a cheetah at that preserve. And, you know, there's just something that goes on when you look into their eyes, that you can see that they are thinking beings, and they're sizing you up just as much as you're sizing them up. And that's true of even our little house cat. You know, she sits and we catch her staring at us.
Do you think, okay, so I've always felt that animals in general are much more present in the world, much more connected to the, let's say, to nature than we are. And they're also giving us a gift, telling us that we need to be connected to nature. And that takes me into a conversation about saving the planet and biodiversity, etc. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we definitely do need to be paying attention to what's going on, because, as you say, you know, animals of all types definitely are our bellwether for what's going on with our planet. And you know, certainly with the polar ice caps, and we're seeing what's happening with the polar bears, and they're losing territory. We are seeing migration habits of other sea life changing. We've got birds who no longer migrate, they stay put. So we definitely need to be paying attention, because it's, you know, the old proverbial canary in the coal mine. What's going on in the animal world is a warning for what we're facing, and potentially, you know, with no point of return.
Right, exactly. So, you know, I'm thinking about your music background and how that sort of connects with the animals. Does it connect for you at all in any way, or is it just cats are like your pets and they're wonderful rescues and you like to do your part, but you separate music from your love for cats, or not?
Well, it's interesting. It's sort of a left field thing here, but cats in particular will pay attention to music. And we at our facility, Santa Fe Cats, which is our boarding facility and shelter, and it's owned by Felines Friends, of which I'm the executive director here in Santa Fe, we do play music throughout the day, and we play a variety, but we tend to keep it moderate. And it's got a couple of purposes, and I always tell the staff, it's not for you, it's for the cats. Because of all the different sounds that happen throughout the day, you know, using a hand vac or the phone ringing, you know, crashing and banging when they drop plates, it helps blend those sounds so that it's not so startling to the cats. And so that's been proven that certain music definitely is soothing to them and helps relax them. And certain other music, as much as I might enjoy it personally, is not conducive to an environment with a bunch of cats. I've also caught cats over the years staring at speakers, where years ago I had a cat that whenever I played the piano would jump up on the piano bench next to me and just hang out. So, and you see videos online now about this, you know, where cats want to be part of what's going on, and it differs. The musical instruments differ. It doesn't have to be one type of instrument. So I think there is a connection. I think there's a harmonic connection that they pick up on. It's basically a vibration.
Wow. And it soothes them. right? You feel that it soothes them. So what kind of music do you actually... What kind of music do you play at the boarding facility?
Classical? Some classical, light jazz, easy listening, light pop. Certain things, as much as I might like the music, like I love the music of Queen and other, rock, the beat is too hard on the cats. So they don't. So disco is not good for cats. They do not like that. It's that pounding beat that, as much as we might enjoy it and want to dance around, they don't enjoy it. And the other thing is, as much as I like going to the opera here in Santa Fe, cats do not really appreciate opera, particularly sopranos. Which, coming from an alto singer, I have to laugh about that. But it's got to do with pitch, and it's too high. And it's something that cats have very, very sensitive hearing. So they don't like high-pitched sounds, and therefore we cannot play opera up at Santa Fe Cats.
So fun. So basically they like jazz and light pop and some classical, right?
Right. It's really more about the tone. Lower tones are more soothing. And not a pounding beat that it's disturbing to them. So yes, that's how we choose our music, and we sometimes have to change the station. We have systems throughout the building, and it's voice activated. So if something comes on that's not good, I tell the staff to just tell, hey Alexa, change to a different station. Right. And, you see on the Facebook, always the cockatoos are the ones, the birds with the big yellow, and they're always dancing. But they seem to like to dance to something that's very rhythmic, right? Yes, they do. And I actually have a friend in Denver who has a green parrot. And definitely that bird, he reacts to certain beats. And you see it on the Internet. And the cockatoo you're referring to is the sulfur-crested. And they are actually originally from Australia, and they do like certain music that they can basically bounce their heads to. It's very funny to watch.
Right. Yes, indeed. So I'm also interested in why you majored in music and why music makes you so happy. Is it also that it soothes your soul? And what kind of music do you like? Do you sing? You said it's a Zia Singers, but I'm sure you must have performed. Did you perform in the entertainment industry as a solo singer? And what kind of music did you sing?
I basically grew up singing. With my, when I was a child, with the church, and so many singers start out that way. But I've done musical theater. I've done light opera. We've done, with the Zia Singers, we have a very eclectic repertoire, depending on what the artistic director chooses. I personally listen to many, many forms of music. Everything from ethnology, which I did do in college. So I did African drumming, Indonesian gamelan, and East Indian singing. So there's a real mishmash of music styles there. I happen to love organ music. I mean, going into a big church where there's a spectacular organ and just listening to that, it's mesmerizing. Even if it's a very, very fast-paced piece or very intricate, it's still there's something that creates a mesmerizing ambience that you just get lost in it. And so, yes, I do listen to multiple types of music and love to perform pretty much anything other than what they call 20th century atonal music. It needs to have a tune. That I will say. Anything that I have done needs to have a tune. And atonal music doesn't. You're kind of going, where is that taking us? So that's just a personal taste.
Yes, absolutely. And when you talk about organ music, remember in the old days where they had organs in the movie theaters. I mean, this is way back in the United States. I don't know, did they have that in Australia?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah.
And it did the same thing. Those tones, vibration just sort of drew you into the film, right? I mean,
right, yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in a live performance of any organ music, if you get the opportunity and they hit those huge low notes, which, you know, is a gigantic pipe if you get to see the pipes, it resonates within your chest cavity. It's an amazing thing. You don't get that necessarily when you're listening to it on a CD or on the radio, but when you are there in a live performance, wow, is that powerful. It's an amazing experience. And anybody who hasn't had that, chance to do it, they should. Go to one of the big cathedrals anywhere in the world, and they've got incredible pipe organs, and boy, do you get that feel, and then it just takes you to a different place.
Yes, and what place would that be? Why do you think organs are in churches?
Join Sandra M. for her live performance of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, a toast to love and happiness in life, an uninhibited musical adventure guaranteed to awaken your happiness vibe. Celebrate with upbeat rhythms, love songs, and fun stories, some told by you in the audience. Sandra's musical guest and accompanist, Todd Lowry, sings his hopeful and happy originals. To book Sandra M. and the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow, email sandra@sandramcknight.com. Celebrate happiness with Sandra M.
I think the intent was to pull the congregation into a spiritual space. Absolutely, and it actually can be a form of meditation if you just sitting, listening, close your eyes without falling asleep, and it helps calm the spirit and the soul.
So the concept you just said, I love how it was used to create a spiritual space. And I'm wondering if the way the world is going now, right? And the reason I'm doing this podcast basically is because I want to spread the word that happiness, I believe, is a natural phenomenon for human beings. But most human beings will tell me, well, they're not happy most of the time because of this, because of that, whatever. And I'm saying, well, yes, but if you're grateful, if you have trained yourself to have thoughts around joy and happiness and well-being, if you help other people, it takes you to a whole other space. So I'm wondering if that we could create a spiritual space for all people. In other words, we are spiritual beings, at least I believe that. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think yes, and I think each individual person, you don't need organized religion to be a spiritual person. I think it's really more about finding joy every day and finding joy in what you do. And if you're doing something that ultimately is not bringing joy on some level, then it's time to reassess and find something else to do, whatever that might be, work, hobbies, etc. I mean, if you find a hobby to become a chore, that's not bringing you joy. You need to get a new hobby. It's pretty simple. But yeah, being able to laugh and smile every day, I think that's really important for our mental and spiritual well-being.
So is there a big difference between living in Australia? I mean, I've been to Australia, so I am asking this to you because you were born there. I noticed a huge difference in just the way the people were more friendly there. They were more connected to everything around them. They were more involved with the actual earth and the animals and etc. Maybe not so much in the cities, but certainly in other places that I went.
I agree. I think that it's a large country landmass, but it is a small country population. And the Australian thinking has always been, have a good time and enjoy life. Yes, you have to work, but Friday afternoon, half the working population don't come back from their lunches. They basically take off on the Friday afternoon. They're definitely into their outdoor hobbies. They're into sports. They're into a lot of different things that bring that joy. And I've still got a lot of friends down there. I've got cousins down there. And I'll say one of the things that, I'm constantly watching is my friend from kindergarten raises beautiful horses for dressage. And she's regularly posting the horses, the adults, the newborns, and that always brings a smile. But she shares her land with a mob of kangaroos, and they're not tame. They're used to her being around. They're used to the horses, but they're just there. They're just sharing the land, as are birds she shares a water source with other neighbors on farmland that have cows, and pelicans land. And she still runs out and takes photos of them and posts them, going, look who just came in to visit. She treats it as this wildlife is coming to visit her and grace her with their presence. So she's constantly posting this, and it makes her smile because, she's having a morning cup of coffee, and there are these kangaroos just going about their business. And she also has a couple of wallabies and other animals. And, talk about connecting with what's around you. It's not just about the business of the horse breeding. It's also everything around her with the land. And I think that makes a difference. And it's a different mindset that I think we have lost here in the U.S. quite a while ago. It's the old, we are living to work rather than working to live. We really need to balance it and not be working 24/7 and chasing the almighty dollar. And overall, Australians do not do that. They do not chase the almighty dollar. Yes, they want to live comfortably, but if they have a chance to go sailing, they'll take off work and they'll go sailing, or they'll go to a cricket match, or whatever it is. But they certainly will take advantage of what's around them.
And why do you think this is? Is it? You said it's a big. It's basically an island, isn't it, Australia?
Yes, it is.
So it's a big landmass, but not very many people. So do you think people feel they stay more connected because there's not that many of them? And why do you think they have this sense of have a good time and enjoy life? Listen, I'm moving to Australia. Have a good time and enjoy life. I mean, how did that happen? Do you have any ideas?
No, for me, it's always been there. That was what I was born into, and it continues to this day. I mean, I see how my cousins with their two little boys, that how they're enjoying every day, and with the kids, and it really does. It translates into a happier family unit. I mean, the population of Australia is we've got 6-7 major cities, and that's where everybody is. So it's not for lack of getting together, but belonging to some kind of a club is important, no matter what sport it might be related to, or even the veterans clubs. There's a camaraderie. Australia has been built on a camaraderie that still exists today. And that is something to do that is positive for a quality of life. We here in the U.S., we have pockets of it. Obviously, there are neighborhoods in every city that if you make a point to really reach out, you can create your own group with camaraderie and friendship, and it doesn't have to be, always on social media and so forth. It's getting together, whether it's playing a board game, going for a hike together, skiing, walking, there's many eating. We do a lot of eating together with our friends because everybody likes to cook. So, but it's, we moved into a neighborhood here 26 years ago, and there was somehow a circle of friends developed, and then friends of friends. And so there's things that we can do together. And all of that, I think, definitely brings joy in the day-to-day life, because turning on the news every day is definitely not bringing joy.
No. And I just love some of the things you have said. It's so wonderful to hear someone talk about the concept of camaraderie and friendship, and the concept of really making an effort. You have to belong to a club so that you're with your comrades and have some fun. I mean, this is part of your whole world there, and this does not exist here. And I think it's a very important point that you bring to us, and I'm so grateful for that. And we've sort of come to the end of our time together and talking, and I just want to know if you have any final comments, thoughts, whatever you want to say.
I think the one thing that I'd like to say is that if people are lonely and they move to a different city or whatever it might be, the cause, the best way to not be lonely is to join something, whether it be a volunteer group or, it doesn't have to be so structured that you feel uncomfortable, but not necessarily a religious basis for this, but definitely something. And so we constantly are saying, join a volunteer group. Felines and Friends is always looking for volunteers, and so many people over the 22 years of the organization have become friends. And that is right there is a fabulous byproduct of doing some good.
Thank you so much, Bobbi.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat about this.
Weekly Key to Happiness 14. Ditch your phone. Unplug all the electronics for at least 1 hour per week, or a shorter amount of time 3 times a week. You might be surprised at the difference it makes. Let your mind wander free for a change. Read, meditate, take a walk, and pay attention to the surroundings. Be sociable or be alone. Just be.
Newsflash, please sign up for your copy of our Keys to Happiness at sandramcknight.com. Thank you for tuning into Season 3 of the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast. And if you enjoyed the conversation, please help spread the word by sharing with your friends and family. And don't forget to catch up on any episodes from Seasons 1 and 2 that you might have missed. Before we go, I'd like to thank today's guest, Bobbi Heller, for sharing her happiness story. And to share your happiness story on the Celebrate Happiness Roadshow podcast, send an email to sandra@sandramcknight.com.
Turn your smile on, you can't go wrong. You'll find that love is all around. Follow your bliss, no one is against you.